Hello. Below the Use Model button, and the Instructions buttons, I find the checkbox that allows me to publish as team, which, if filled, presents the drop-down to choose the team. Everything that is published as a team by one of the team members will generate the request to the other members to confirm or not the publication with a click. I take off the filling. Now I have to start entering directly the various fields, among which those with an asterisk are necessary for publication. I start by choosing who will be able to view my survey, and there are two possibilities. Enter an email list which will take place at the end of the compilation of this format. It is used when these are people who are not registered on the platform but from whom I have obtained authorization to contact them by email, in accordance with the privacy policy, taking responsibility for it. Obviously I will get a very simple report of the percentages of the answers, without the possibility of filtering. Enter one of the groups to which I belong with the relative drop-down menu, or if I am not happy with it I can create one directly by clicking on the Create One button and the format opens. This is followed by the choice of language, which, in this case, is obviously English. Now I enter the survey title, the only mandatory text, and I put Tutorial for Survey, which will be seen in the rectangles of choice to select the survey to be viewed and possibly vote, as we will see in another video tutorial. I therefore find the description, which is a very important and necessary part of understanding, even if not mandatory. I can select the macro category with its drop-down and then category and subcategory. I also find the list of possible categories and can suggest a new category to the website operator. At this point I go on the questions that are divided into chapters, which allow those who will answer the survey to choose all the answers of a chapter and then confirm them at the same time to move on to the next chapter. I can therefore fill in the field with the description of the chapter, but I am not obliged to do it. I then add the first question of the chapter and fill in the title field of the question, possibly adding the description. Then I choose the type of survey, with textual or numerical answers. If I click on Numeric Answers, the 8 answers are presented to me automatically. Those that who will vote will find in the form of a table with the numbers from 3 to 10, and serves for an evaluation, for example for the satisfaction of a course already held. I go back to click Instead, Text Answers, and there are the fields for the texts of the various answer choices with the Add button and then Remove, if I decide to eliminate one of the choices. To specify better, I can then upload one or more files, which can be in various formats. I can choose a file and then click here or drag and drop it into the rectangle. I can also add a video that I uploaded to YouTube. I can then add a new question, repeating the same procedure and a new chapter, filling it with questions in turn. At this point, I must therefore choose the start and end dates of the vote, which can still be ended by clicking the Stop Voting button that I will find inside the rectangle of my survey by going to My Profile, Publications, Survey. Then, there are two check boxes that I can fill or not. One is for the paid promotion of the publication of my survey to make it more visible, which makes sense if the group I have chosen includes many people and these are also part of other groups. Instead, the checkbox for the preservation of the coupling between the vote and the voter is already clicked. However, if the answer to a question makes it possible to discover his political or religious opinions, sexual orientation and other so-called sensitive subjects, the check must be removed. It is not possible for someone to obtain this information, but, if this coupling is not kept, there will be no possibility for hackers to access this data. I can therefore decide to click on the checkbox, Save as a Model, for my subsequent use, and if I click on it, another checkbox will appear which allows me to suggest it as a model to the site manager, who could decide to make it available to the other users, rewarding those who proposed it. I can then save it as a draft or publish it directly. I recommend saving it as a draft to verify it before publishing it. If I saved it as a draft, then I find it by going to My Profile, clicking on Drafts, and then on Surveys.